Mr. Beans, yeah, I need to regenerate. I'm about to go off like I'm the Avatar state, and I can say
Konjik, talk about the new footage for Seven Deadly Sins! I, Konjik, have heard your cries loud and clear. So let's talk about it. Last night we got hit with the first substantial piece of footage promotion for the final season of the Seven Deadly Sins Dragon's Judgment, which will be season 5 on Netflix. I talked to you a few months ago how we should have gotten a trailer soon, and I listed the reasons why. Then I told you it's a bad sign we haven't gotten a trailer yet because we're weeks away from the season releasing episodes in Japan. Then we got 2 extremely short teaser trailers, one 35 seconds with extremely fast shots of animation and reused animation from previous seasons, and another shorter than that with the same thing but with the opening song. So that gave off a bad look because at that point we should have seen the real trailer, not teasers with barely anything in it, and it gave off the impression they were clearly trying to hide the animation. Now here we are a bit more than 2 weeks away from it airing in Japan, and they dropped an actual trailer at the last minute. I'll go over the bad news afterward about that, but here's the first piece of footage.
直接まみえるのはこれが初めてか。そして最後だ。
The first thing we see is the Archangel Ludociel saying it's the first time we've faced off directly, and Zeldris replies, and it will be the last. Ludociel is of course still in the princess's body from the last season and is the Archangel who wanted to eradicate all the demons from existence. Him being the top Archangel is a big deal for going against the son of the Demon King. But let's go on. We see Merlin and Escanor with Ludociel facing off against the demons. Of course, the other two are actually the ones who trained Zeldris and Meliodas, and the demon who trained Meliodas is facing off against Escanor, who is definitely thinking he's about to F this guy up. But of course, that is the demon who defeated Gloxinia and Droll. Estarossa is of course going crazy since he absorbed multiple commandments and is obsessing over Elizabeth, who he has abducted. We see King, Gowther, the other 2 archangels, and Dareri going after Estarossa, and of course Dareri wants to take revenge on him for murdering her lover after they surrendered their commandments in the last season. We see the team headed for Meliodas arrive at his cocoon, and Escanor, being as powerful as he is, attempts to strike the cocoon and fails at damaging it. We then see our first look at Diane, who said, "We made a promise, didn't we? To always be together." Merlin snaps her fingers, killing off several enemies, and says, "There's one more thing, bringing Meliodas back, right?" Ban, who has been in purgatory for an extremely long time at this point, is losing his mind because he can't find Meliodas, and he starts screaming, "Captain, where are you? Answer me!" We then get shots of multiple characters, ending with Ban fighting a monster in purgatory, which shoots a blast from his mouth, shooting him through rock, and he comes out smiling. I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I got Vegeta vibes the way he smiled. We get a close-up of Zeldris holding a sword saying, "This is my true magical power, feel its wrath," which is of course very interesting wording, as many of you should recognize by now that his brother Meliodas is of course the Sin of Wrath. We see Ban, now friends with the monster he was fighting in purgatory, and decided to rest on its tail while it sleeps, and of course this gave me Broly vibes.
Meliodas.
And we see Zeldris saying, "I'll have you keep your promise, Meliodas." And then we see Escanor looking fully enraged, which is pretty freaking awesome. Now this animation doesn't look bad. It's nothing to go crazy for, but it's not bad. It looks just as good as the repolished Blu-ray and streaming animation for Wrath of the Gods, which is what we saw on Netflix. Although the animation of the Wrath of the Gods trailer looked pretty much just as good. I would say we got more movement in this trailer though compared to the Wrath of the Gods, which is a good sign at least, but the fact that the season is extremely close to airing its first episode in Japan and they are just showing the full trailer now is still a red flag. I can guarantee you there will be parts of the season which do not look as good as what is shown in the trailer, like how the last season had plenty of scenes that weren't as good as its trailer. For people who watch it on Netflix, I wouldn't say there's a giant thing to worry about. At least the animation always looks fairly decent even with the last season, but the TV broadcasts in Japan will 100% look worse. That's not a prediction, that's not speculation, that's a guarantee. That will happen. That's how things work with this show. The best animation doesn't come until after it finishes broadcasting. And if you choose to watch this illegally, you should know any subtitles you read are completely fan-made unless you see the official version. If you don't buy the Blu-ray or watch it on Netflix, you are not watching the official version. You are watching the unofficial version with poor animation and fan subs. I also want to mention the channel just got a big set of official merch, so if you enjoy the channel, make sure to check that out. The support really does affect the channel greatly, and I'm sure you guys can enjoy it. However, we'll see in a couple weeks how the animation for the first episode actually looks. I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I would appreciate it if you have to like before you go. My name's Konjic, and I'll talk to you in the next video.
And I can say that I'm great, yeah, I can say that I'm perfect. I ain't the one that was out here saving lives, I was purchased. Now we about to take you out if you try to act toxic. I'ma send you straight up to my main man, Konjic.